Right, so I have returned once again today to deliver yet another new anime. This one's kind of one of the more anticipated shows the whole entire season because it is meant to be quite good, but also heard it's meant to be quite bad towards the end. Well, in... God, that one terrified me just then. Just freaking my own voice just spooked me again. But yes, I've actually heard the actual beginning parts of manga are phenomenal, but then the last parts of it are actually quite tripe. So I'm actually I've got that like stepping in quite slowly, not to kind of getting too hyped about it because I've heard quite good things about it. It's one of those ones. It depends on the person, really. I think because a lot of people say it's great, and other people say it's kind of all right, and I'm like, well, maybe Mappa might fix it. Not too sure. Hopefully, because this one actually looks quite good. It's made by Mappa. It's made by the director of a lot of Mappa shows, if I remember correctly, I believe. And yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. But you have to kind of have that. You have to like step in slowly just in case you might get disappointed because it happens quite often. Especially with me, actually. Like I get those sometimes. I get those animes. I'm like, yeah, this is actually freaking great. Like, oh, it's not that good. That's why I'm slowly stepping into it. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've heard it's quite good towards the beginning, but just towards middle-ish and end, it doesn't get that great. It's all right towards it, apparently. So apparently the guy doesn't know how to actually end a series. He just kind of ends a series and that's it. Everyone's just like, what? That's what I've at least read. I haven't can't say it's concrete. So I've actually read anything by him, actually. I believe he wrote Gantz, actually, as well. That's all I know who actually wrote this and Gantz and something else, I believe. But anyway, yes, so it's actually Amazon Prime. So, we're in for the good stuff, as they say. Those actual shows been out for 24 hours. Because it came out in Japan yesterday, but strangely got delayed until today. But I don't know. Anyway, enough talk. Let's get on with this and see what's going down in the sphere. I actually don't know if I actually even said the name of the title yet. Inuyashiki. So, yes, let's actually watch Inuyashiki right now. So in 3, 2, 1, let's begin now. Oh, it begins with the OP. Begins with the OP. Begins with the OP. Yeah, boy. Sorry, OP is actually really freaking good. I'm not lying. It's actually good. It's actually a good OP. It's a nice OP. 10 out of 10 OP. It's that man with a mission. It's that man with a mission hype. Which, strangely enough, I've been listening to all day as well. I've been listening to the older albums all day. So it's just, I'm gearing up for it, as they say. Plus, this actually came out yesterday. I've been listening to it all night, practically, like last night. But I thought it would probably wait. It would wait until it gets the OP. Like, give us the anticipation for the OP. Like, go, yeah, boy, you want OP, but you got to wait. But no, straight away. Also, for this show being entirely in CGI, but it isn't. Which I was actually kind of surprised about. I was like, you know what? Good job. Good job. I think a lot of it's in CG, but not everything is. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's good. It's good to hear. Good to hear. But yeah, I actually have been excited about this show to actually see what they actually will do with this show. Because I almost read the manga. I was like, should I read the manga or shouldn't I read the manga? I was like, is there any point to reading the manga because the show's coming out? I thought, screw it, I'll leave it and actually we'll just watch it. Oh no, it's entirely in CG. I think my eyes are deceiving me. It has that kind of style to it. It makes it look like it's 2D. Or is it? Oh, is it not? I don't know. No, it's not all. It's not all CG. It's so strange. Also, apparently, there's no subtitles. Wouldn't you know? There we are. Good old Amazon Prime just takes my subtitles off. hate Amazon Prime sometimes because it just stops the subtitles for some profound reason. Ah. So apparently it's not all in CG. It's only certain things are in CG. Only certain things are in CG. I'm actually going to say the word. Oh, geez. This isn't good. Oh, I thought this isn't good, but it's just... It's one of those inside your head kind of moments. I see, I see. I see. Always. Always a police car. Jeez. This got heavy. This actually got very heavy. Oh man. Man, this is actually quite sad. This is really kind of. This is going quite. This is going. Freaking hell. Hello, man. This is a heavy episode. I was not expecting this actually. This is actually quite sad. Actually, kind of. This is actually really sad. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's actually kind of doing really freaking good at CGI so far. Surprisingly, I thought I was really kind of fearing the show because of the CGI, but they're doing a pretty good job of it. So far, it's doing a really freaking good job, which is it's really sad. Like so far, it's just been incredibly sad. Because again, I was really fearing the show because of what people have been saying about the ending on how it kind of all just concludes. So you kind of like you have to be you have to kind of like tread really lightly into these kind of shows because you can just get disappointed straight away. But so far, it's been pretty good. I think so as well. But I'm hoping they kind of just fix certain things. So I believe Mappa probably could just kind of just fix and iron out some of the issues the actual manga had. But maybe they might. They might even redo it. I mean, I don't know anything about what comes afterwards, but I just know people said that it doesn't kind of realize its own like kind of questions. It raises a lot of things. It just doesn't kind of do too much with it. So it just kind of ends. That's I was saying to myself, I can't remember where I saw the gun arm from Blame or Blam. Realize it's from here. It's like, when did I see the gun arm before? And I was like, oh, Inuyashiki has it. Wouldn't do that. Would not do that. Whoa. No, there's actually a character in Blam that has a gun arm, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken. One of the association people, not association people, but the actual synthetic life people. One of them has a gun arm. So I was trying to figure out where I saw it beforehand. I realized, oh yeah, it's Inuashiki, isn't it? It might have been her, but I swear it's the bloke. It's way towards the beginning, like it's like the first 7 chapters in. I believe it's a second lot he meets. Oh geez, he's actually hearing all of it. He's hearing all of it. Jeez, what assholes. Jeez, what actual assholes. Damn. This show is already going very 0 to 60. Quite a bit. Yeah, it's really kind of. It's just. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I mean, Jesus Christ, these kids have no remorse. What the hell? Huh. This is. I don't know. It's just, it's kind of, it's one of those ones. You're just like, how? It's just one of those ones. You're just like, how? I mean, because I mean, this is quite a sad premise. It's got very sad. Like beginning was quite sad, then it just kind of got really freaking sad kind of premise, and it just gone to this as well. Like, geez, man, just like it doesn't kind of let up for this for even 5 seconds. But I mean, the OST is not so bad though. I mean, I quite like the OST. I feel like this kind of needed a bit more time, like just kind of allow just maybe episode more, just to kind of allow everything to kind of just to feel a little bit kind of not as fast, because this is only one core long. There's 11 episodes long. That's it. It's over after that point. But and then it just, I don't know. This one kind of a bit too fast. The pacing's a little bit too relentless. So, I mean, you had the whole thing about, you had his life, and you had him basically finding out, oh, he's only got 3 months left to live, him getting the power, him then saving someone. It's sort of a lot to take in for quite one episode. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad episode at all. It handled everything brilliantly, surprisingly, because I didn't think it would, but it did it amazingly. But I don't know. I felt like it needed a bit more time, just to kind of just allow certain plot points to kind of hit a little bit better, because it just felt a bit too fast. I don't know. Yeah, apparently it's only one core long. It's only 11 episodes long. I'll live try in a second, but I believe it's only one core long. Because it's a Noe Tamino show, I believe. So it's either one core or two, and it's always 11 or 22, I believe. Well, it might not even be Noe Tamino. No, I actually think it is Noe Tamino because it's Amazon. But I don't know, it kind of felt a bit too fast. It wasn't like it's a bad episode by any chance. By any chance, it's not a bad episode. Just it kind of, you get my drift about pacing. It's just it kind of feels a little bit too fast for its own good sometimes. I don't know. It just, a lot of the things could have hit home a lot better, because there's quite a lot of deep things going on here. but it just kind of felt as if it kind of wanted to get to him getting the powers, and that was about it. I thought as if it doesn't discredit the episode, but it could have just hit a little bit better. Because you have to feel for this character. You've got to kind of feel attached to him because he's kind of in this world where no one kind of cares for him. No one loves him. He had no one to speak to until he found out he was dying. Like it's quite heavy, but it just kind of felt as if it was a little bit too fast. Like you kind of have to have time to process these kind of things. You can't. Well, I mean, in a sense, it kind of does in theory then hit home with the person itself. Like, it just kind of all flashes before your eyes. It's sort of just like, how the hell am I to process all these things? I mean, it kind of hits the home for the audience as well, because you kind of like, how am I meant to process all these things at the same time? So I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't know if a night kind of, maybe it could have worked better if he actually maybe it could have worked a little bit better if it actually ended upon the point of when he got his powers. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just, it felt a bit, it just felt too fast in certain scenes. Like, just the pacing was kind of off slightly, like as if it was trying to get to one point. I don't know. Hold on, let me actually live chart this thing. I want to see if it's actually 11 episodes of 22. I think it's 11. Nope, 11. It's definitely 11. I thought it was 11. But I mean, again, don't take my opinion as saying it's a terrible episode. It's not. It's actually, it handled everything brilliantly. Don't get me wrong, it was actually a really well done episode. But I just feel as if it would have benefited a bit better from a longer kind of running time. Maybe this one should have been maybe 40 minutes long and actually kind of allow just in certain things just to kind of, I don't know, just hit a bit better. Because there was certain beats it was trying to hit, and I understood what it's trying to do. I actually understood it quite well, but it felt as if it just needed a little bit more time, just to kind of fill in the gap slightly. Because I don't know, it's not to its discredit or anything. Because that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to get at. It doesn't in theory hinder the show and hinder the person's enjoyment or hinder the person's attachment or anything like that. It's not really an enjoyable episode, but you know what I mean. It doesn't hit anything like that. But I feel as if it kind of just needed that little bit extra. Maybe it just kind of needed 40 minutes just to kind of allow it just to kind of become what it needs to be. Like in essence, the idea of a full-fledged kind of, in a way, character, because he does in theory feel like a fully fledged character, but it just kind of felt like there was certain things kind of against it. Like it felt as if the length of the episode, the length of the actual anime itself is working against the whole entirety of the show. I don't know, because this one kind of seems as if it kind of needs more than 11 episodes. I feel like it's kind of one of those ones that you have to kind of realize it's got quite a lot going on, even behind closed doors, because you've got this idea that he's now got this power. Like he can kind of be seen as yeah, I think that actually might work. He's actually kind of, in a way, when you think about it, he's just saved someone's life as well. That was even in one episode as well. He found out he's depressed. He finds out he's dying. He got the power. He saved someone within one episode. It kind of felt, I don't know. But yeah, it's going back to the idea. He's got this power, but it's this idea of what he's going to do with it. It's kind of one of those kind of questions of, once you've got this power, what do you do with it? Do you save people? Do you go against the system? Do you actually then destroy the world that actually kind of wronged you in the past? And it's kind of one of those things that you would imagine him to kind of go against a lot of things, but he doesn't seem like a person too as well. He doesn't actually seem like he has any ill intent towards the world. Like it's one of those ones that it has a deep sense of morality to it. This is what I kind of like. It has this idea of what you would do with said power. And I believe probably even the other guy that might come in next week's episode, which probably might be the case, he might in theory kind of be the anti-version of Ichiro's character, kind of the one that goes against the system, goes against society, and actually probably then in theory kind of hinders everyone else, and he has to go and kind of sort it out. That kind of thing. I'd imagine probably the morality plays a bigger part in the series. The idea of what you would do with said power. If you're in the same situation, what would you do? You'd be given this new life. What do you do with it? Do you save people or do you go against people? Because I'd imagine probably with Ichiro's character, he would in theory then go and save the world. But it's like one of those things that right now in the current state of the anime, it doesn't seem as if there's actually quite a lot to save. So probably you need that kind of antithesis to kind of allow for them to be a person there for him to save. So probably that other character that was there since the beginning might, in theory, then be that character. Might actually be the kind of his character that he needs to take down. Yeah, I want to kind of see. I want to see a lot. It needs to kind. It's got a lot. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's got a lot going on, and I feel as if probably 11 episodes might not be enough time to kind of just allow everything to kind of mesh. That's my problem. It's the runtime of the series that it kind of would in theory hinder it ever so slightly. Maybe they might do it. Maybe they actually might in theory give an amazing anime within 11 episodes. But it's working against it as well, because you kind of have to realize of what would they want to actually put into the show. They've got to kind of tread lightly, because they've got to kind of, they have to give a proper show unless actually that's a sequel at the end. Like kind of say, oh, don't worry, season 2 is coming next year. They might really do it. I'm not too sure. But it's kind of like there's a lot, and they've actually introduced a lot, and they've actually will introduce even more. And I feel as if probably a lot of it won't get explained, or kind of will get swept to the side, while the actual main topics kind of get explore, which kind of would be, it's not a problem, it's not technically a bad thing, but you're kind of like, why do you actually establish these things without actually ever answering these things? What's the goddamn point? Well, that's the kind of, it's a double-edged sword when you think about it. That's the problem with this show. It's a double-edged sword. It's probably going to be an amazing series, but you will probably have those lingering ideas that why wasn't this kind of done? Why wasn't that explained? Why wasn't it kind of going deeper into this aspect? Because that aspect would have made for a better show overall. It just has those things. That's the problem. It has those things, and it just doesn't work if you don't do it properly. Because you're kind of like, what's the point? Like, because otherwise you kind of sit there going, well, I can just read something else or watch something else that kind of does this a lot better with a kind of a better runtime and like kind of, I don't know. Because I think I've seen series like this before, like kind of shows that kind of go into this idea, kind of just done a lot differently and probably a lot better. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen the end product yet. I don't even know. But all I know is the manga does not end well. That's all I've actually kind of realized so far. But it might even not even be true. I'm not even too sure. That's what I've just kind of read people say, yeah, the manga doesn't end very well. So I have zero idea. But yeah, I mean, the actual animation wasn't as bad as I expected, because I thought, oh, yeah, probably it won't be good because it's all CGI, but it isn't. The CGI is actually kind of a very aesthetic idea. It's not like as if it's all the time. It's when it's needed to be there. I thought, you know what? It kind of actually helps the show a bit. I actually quite like the actual use of CGI. Yeah, I don't know. But that had a longer running time. That's the problem. That had 24, so a lot of the other things kind of all got wrapped up. This one kind of, I don't know. I think it's like 10 volumes long, I believe the manga is. It's only 75 chapters. So it probably doesn't actually, it probably might in theory do it. I'm not even too sure. But you've got to understand, I can't just kind of praise a show and say it's the best thing ever when I think to myself, probably this won't all end well. First impressions, the show is really good. I like it. It's on quite a lot of things. Pacing might be a little bit better, could have been a bit better, but I'm not complaining. But it's the kind of the full picture. Right now, I have no idea how it's all going to wrap up, but I fear it. I kind of fear how it all just kind of all wrap up in the end. It kind of just, it might not be all what we want it to be. It might not be the series we want it to be. We might think it might, in theory, be that, but it won't. I don't know. I just don't know. But, I mean, so far, it's not a bad series. I mean, it did a lot of things. The depression was handled very freaking damn well. I thought it's actually a very believable kind of... He's a believable character. You actually understand why he's kind of... You actually understand his mindset. But again, he never actually has any ill intent against the world, which I really like. I thought, good job. I mean, because it was really sad, the fact that he literally called everyone and no one answered his phone, and just he has no one to go to besides the dog. The dog's the only person that actually really, in theory, cares for him. It's actually really depressing when you think about it. It's actually one of those things, that's what I was like, maybe they give it a bit more time, it could have just kind of, I don't know. It's just those things, you kind of just sit there going, yeah, it was handled very well, but maybe what happens if it had more time? That's the problem. But I don't know. So far, 7.5 out of 10, I'd say, for first impressions. Like first episode completely over, I'd say 7.5. Did quite a lot of things I liked. Kind of would have been a bit better had it had a kind of a 40-minute running time, considering the fact that it's 11 episodes long. So they could have compensated the last episode kind of being a bit longer, or the first episode being a bit longer, just so it kind of all meshes together. But what can we do? Sometimes it's like that. But if all else fails, just read the manga, as they say, because that's always there. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. The episode itself is great. It's a great episode, because it kind of had problems. It had quite a few of them. That's the kind of crux. It's not just completely perfect. It's got its problems. I mean, it needed time is the major one. But again, if you like the episode, you have no problems with it, then by all means, it's all right. Just I kind of just saw it a bit differently, I guess. It's just one of those things that sometimes when you get these kind of shows, to establish kind of very deep, kind of psychological things, you need it to kind of be longer. It just kind of allow for the actual ideas to process a bit better, because otherwise you're kind of stuck with this idea kind of being very half-baked, which is a lot of the time what happens with these kind of shows. They feel very half-baked, and it's just like as if, what's the point? But anyway, that's just how I see things. So yeah, that has been me for today. So sorry, this actually was quite late. Is the fact I actually got back from uni about an hour and a half ago, so literally had no time to myself. So I do apologize. Hopefully next time actually might be a bit earlier. I have no idea whether or not they might release it on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. No freaking idea, because it's actually been out for 24 hours straight in Japan. Because Amazon Prime said, nah, fam, we'll release it tomorrow, because why not, I guess. So anyway, with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. If you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here, and you want to stay a little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. But until tomorrow with Kino's Journey and also Girls' Last Tour, probably that's what I'm going to cover tomorrow, probably, because those ones are kind of the good ones. So until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.